Good people, we are back. We are back. Thank you so much for tuning in to I Radio. I am your host, Lady Limitless, and we are tuned in to I Radio on 102.3 FM, Miami-Dade and Broward, 105.3 Vero Beach, 99.7 Orlando. If you're tuned into INIRadio.com, thank you so much. And those who are tuned into I Radio's application from your favorite app store, big up yourself because you get the clearest sound anywhere you have an internet connection, and you are in for a treat, good people. Because here on Limitless Talk, we're joined by Iron Will. He's a health optimization strategist, founder of True Iron Will LLC, the author of Young at Any Age: How to Feel Younger Longer. And we're diving into how to restore your energy, move with purpose, and feel young from the inside out at any age. Will, welcome back to the show.
All right, thank you.
We're going to jump right in, okay? So, your new book, Young at Any Age: How to Feel Younger Longer. You talk about restoring liveliness. What does liveliness look like in real life?
Well, I mean, a lot of times you can tell what a person is about just by their energy before you even say a word. You could feel the energy that they bring. You can you can see it in their skin, you can see it in their eyes. It's an energy that we all have because we're all connected. So liveliness is being able to express that energy and being able to be one with other people, right? It's being able to move how you want to move without restriction. It's being able to make an impact on society, and it's being able to feel, because I think a lot of times we've lost connection not only with each other, but we've lost connection with the planet. So we're walking around and we're just like totally disconnected, and it shows up in every aspect of society.
That's true. That's very true about feeling. What is the most surprising thing you've learned about longevity doing your research?
That it's not as out of reach as many of us think, right? There are places throughout the world where you see communities, and I'll emphasize that word, communities, of people that are living in their 90s and beyond, in their hundreds, centenarians, and they are still productive members of society because they live with other people. They help each other, and that is what is along with. I break it down to you like this. So I have an acronym for wellness, right? So W is for whole plant nourishing foods. You have E for exercise, right? You have L for light therapy, and you have L for life purpose. You have N for nature bonding, right? You have E for elongation, mobility, flexibility. You have S for sleep, and you have S, who wraps it up, social connecting, right? So if you have all those aspects combined, that's what leads you to liveliness, and that's what helps you to expand your health span.
Is that in your book? Is that wellness
That
breakdown?
is.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
because that is beautiful. I'm so glad this is being recorded, because I'm going to go down and write that down. Matter of fact, I'm just going to pick up the book. So where can we find this book? Let's talk about that.
Okay, so the official release date is January 6th, and you could go to trueironwill.com. So it's available for pre-order right now, and it also, if you pre-order it right now, it also comes with a free bonus, a bonus guide, which is, everything that you need to really help you going in the other direction. So if you have any friends, family members, or loved ones that you feel can benefit from this type of information, it makes an awesome companion for them, and a reference guide. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to create a guide that can help people in practical ways, because some of this stuff can seem out of reach, and some of this stuff can seem a little bit too complex. And while I do include some science in there, and I do include research and sources and studies that people can go and refer to, for the most part I make it easily accessible so the average person can get a step ahead, especially when we're starting the new year, because this is what people want to do in the new year. You're going to see people flooding to the gyms. You're going to see a lot of activity and a lot of new me, new you, and all that talk. But this is how you can sustain that, not only for the rest of the year, but for the rest of your life.
Yes, that's exactly why it was so important that I had you in the studio this month, because you're right, you're setting up for your new year and what you're wanting to see and changing those habits. And why not start now? Why wait, right? Why not start now? So getting your mind together. So tell me, if someone is feeling tired, overwhelmed, or disconnected from their body, what's the very first step that you recommend?
I think the first step is to find out what is causing your health to erode. And it's kind of like a detective. You have to be a detective, and if you're not in the position to do so, then you can contact someone like me, or you can contact a healthcare professional that you trust. And that's the first step, and that's another main concept that's in the book, is finding out what is causing the backlog, right? What is interfering with your body's ability to function at a high level, because the body is meant to heal itself, right? But if we're not healing at the rate that we should be, then there's something interfering. So that's the first step, is to find out what you can subtract from your life that's holding you back. And once you do that, now you clear the path, right? It's like there's an old saying that you can't put new wine in an old wine bottle, right? So you have to clean out the system first,
Yeah.
right? Some people, they may go on a fast. That's a long subject, and that's something that we can get into at probably another time. But
Sure.
that's just an example of how someone can clear that system and kind of start in a position where the body can renew itself, because that's what it's designed to do.
You led me right into my next question. So, what's the biggest mistake people make when trying to get healthy? And I say this with air quotes, that actually works against them.
Doing too much too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So
cutting out everything, like cutting and putting your body into shock. You're saying, like saying, I'm going vegan today, and you just had 14 years of eating meat, and then you just decide to go vegan, and then what happens? You crash out, or your body goes into shock. What would you say?
you can do that.
Yeah.
But I just want to be clear on the term vegan, right? So the term vegan is popular, right? It's a buzzword.
Yeah.
It's an ethical position, right?
Right.
So these are people that they refrain from animals, whether it's eating animals, whether it's
Wearing
them, whether it's going to zoos or any type of animal exploitation. This is their main focus. Focus is animal welfare, which I think is commendable, you know. But
There's plant-based.
there's also plant-based, right? And plant-based is you're adding more plants, which is could be a step further depending on where you were
Right.
previously. But none of those, vegan, plant-based, have to do anything with health, right? And I noticed that a lot of people, they use these terms and they jump into these lifestyles, and then they're unsuccessful, and they'll say that, I tried to go vegan, it didn't work,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, you have to know why you're doing what you're doing. Me personally, when I went into this for health span. That was my first, and that was my priority, was making sure how can I increase the way that I'm functioning. So that did include plants, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that did include plants, but I had to make sure that I did it the right way, and that's why I'm still doing it today.
I love it how you said health span. So, how do you define health span, and why is it more important than lifespan?
Well, I don't know if it's more important than lifespan, because I think that everyone has, depending on your genetics and depending on your environment, you have a certain amount of time that you're going to be on this planet, right? But my focus was on health span, and health span is the amount of time that you're living, that you're able to be functional, that you're able to be cognitive, and you're able to live out your dreams, live out your passion, right? So that's different from lifespan, because we do have people that are living to, make it, let's say, to 80 years old, for example, but they're spending the last 10 to 15 years of their life, and they're under some type of care, they're suffering from chronic disease, they're not living the way that they anticipated living at that stage of their life. So I don't think that, I haven't seen any evidence that you can control your lifespan, but I've seen plenty of evidence and am a living example that you can do a lot more than we think you can to expand your health span.
Nice. Okay. How can people stay consistent without feeling restricted, punished, or burnt out?
I think it's you have to have a purpose,
Mm-hmm.
and there are some days where I don't feel like going and doing exercise, right? I think that's normal, and I think it's understanding that that's normal. There are going to be days like that, and sometimes it's okay to take a day or two or whatever to relax, right? If your body's giving you that signal, I think it's important to listen to what your body's telling you. But to be consistent, it requires you knowing what you're doing and why you're doing it, and that's the centerpiece of anyone who's trying to incorporate this long term. And as a health coach, that's where I come in and I help a lot of my clients because they need some type of accountability a lot of times. Because it's easy to say, you know what, I'm not going to do it. Nobody's watching.
Mm-hmm.
I could just do whatever behind closed doors.
Sure.
But when you have somebody who's you have an appointment with to say, hey, we're going to do this for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, whatever, then it kind of changes your mindset. And the more consistent you are, the more improvement you're going to see.
True.
And once you have improvement, I always encourage clients as well to take pictures along the way. You know what I mean? Because words mean one thing, but when you see the actual proof, you see the pictures, and you could not even show anybody if you don't want to, right? Just for yourself to have a reference, it makes a big difference psychologically.
Sure.
And you know your reason of why you need to continue.
Nice. That's really pivotal because you're right. That accountability and seeing the results, it keeps you going. It's like, I want to do more of it, right? Because you feel good. All right, so let's talk about your book, Quake Blends Horror, and the hope in the aftermath after Haiti's earthquake. You mentioned that you were there. And tell me, in being there, being in the soil, helping the people rebuild, and all of that you spoke about earlier, how did that help the writing to shape you as a man and a healer?
Oh, wow. Well, like I said before, it was something that I didn't expect, right? So just being in that situation, once it happened, all of a sudden my life and the life of everyone around me suddenly changed. So it was a different type of connection. It's one thing to be of Haitian origin or, of Haitian descent, but it's another thing to have that type of permanent connection.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very fortunate to be able to go back 6 years after the earthquake and actually help to build community centers with the local YMCA's there.
Nice.
In 2016 and 2019. And that was a different experience that really brought me closer, not only to the country, but the people who make the country.
Mm-hmm.
And volunteering, anybody who's volunteered they know really well how empowering that makes you feel to give your energy and to give your purpose to other people in need.
Sure, you're sewing.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I answered your question.
No, you did. You sew into the people. That's basically what you were saying. What chapter of your new book changed you the most while writing it?
I don't know if it was one chapter in particular, but I will say when you're writing a book, you really get to know a lot about yourself because it's a lot of quiet time that you have to put in and pour into these pages. And I did learn things about myself that I really wasn't aware of before. I knew I was helping people, but when I went back to specific stories and now I'm retelling the stories, now I'm like, wow, we really did something miraculous, you know what I mean? Where you have somebody who barely was walking and now all of a sudden they might be, walking 5Ks or jogging 5Ks or doing something like that. Then that's when I start to think back. I'm like, wow, that's incredible, and that's something that we do as a team, because the coach can't make you do what you don't want to do or what you're not ready to do. He could just help guide you there.
Sure.
And just to be a part of that, it's really fulfilling.
Yeah, the client is actually doing the work day in and day out because, like you said, they can leave you and go eat cheeseburgers. But that accountability will keep them coming back and want to make good decisions so they can see results. I love it. So if your readers walk away with only one truth from Young at Any Age, what do you hope that truth is?
The one truth, wow. The one truth is, like I said, it all starts with purpose.
Mm-hmm.
you know, what do you want, right? When you envision youth, what do you envision youth as? You need to think about that. Right? We're not going to be operating at age 70 like we were at age 5. That's just not realistic. But to envision what youth means to you and what you're willing to do to get to that level that you're capable of. In other words, fulfilling your potential. And I think that that's the most important part, is to be able to stay consistent with that solid foundation of what you're doing and why you're doing it.
How do you coach people who feel like they've waited too long to begin caring for their health?
The easiest way I've found is to show examples. There are examples. Now we have social media, and you can see examples of people that started running in their 50s, or they started doing, martial arts in their 60s, and here they are in their 80s and their 90s, and they're still functioning. They're still having fun, right? They're still smiling. They're still being a part of the community, and I think that that's number one. And I try to be an example myself, because I share my own health issues that I've had in my books, in my writing, in my public speaking, and things of that nature. So it gives people a reference point. Not everyone is the same. So it's not necessarily examples for you to try to do exactly what someone else is doing, because you have a different purpose, you have different limitations, you have different strengths. So you need to get into what your strengths are. And I also feel that continuously learning is vital, because once you stop learning, that's when you start getting old.
Sure.
That's when
Life
the neural
learner.
pathways, they stop building, stop generating, and this is what is the beginning of the end. So I think all those things are vital.
I love that. Continue to learn, and learn until literally you can't learn anymore. Like there's no more breath. I love that. I consider myself a life learner, so when you said that, definitely hit the nail on the head. Let me ask you something. What's a belief about yourself that you had to unlearn on your wellness journey?
Good question. I think that that I wasn't capable of what I had envisioned. I guess I was at a point where I was like, oh, I don't know if I could do all that. You start to feel aches and pains, and then you hear the common talk, right, amongst your peers, and you think that, man, I'm probably going down the same route. But the thing that really got me out of that was the education, was the learning. I had to do a lot of research to be able to get to the point where I was actually able to believe that, this was true. And then once you do the research, now it's up to you to actually do it. You know what I mean? And then once I started to apply it, and I started to see that what I was reading was actually working, and working long term, that gave me more confidence. And once I had more confidence,
it was a wrap.
That's it.
It was done. When do you personally feel most alive, Will?
When I'm working with people.
Really?
Yeah. When I'm working with people, when I'm being active, when I'm fulfilling my potential.
Yeah.
That's when I feel like everything. It's like time goes by the fastest when I'm in my purpose.
So you really feel like this is the reason why you're placed on earth, is to help people get healthy and live longer?
No question.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Will, what's one message you want every listener, no matter their age or fitness level, to hear from you today?
That it's not over. I mean, you could do a lot more than you're capable of. Just put your mind to it. You have to envision it first. I think a lot of times as adults we stop dreaming, and no, we need to dream, and we also need to play. We stop dreaming, we stop playing. You might need to play a little different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to adjust some things. I understand that, but don't stop playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not going to play like you did when you were 5, but there's some aspects of that. You were in a community. Find a different community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That grows up with you.
I love it.
I think that's important.
Speaking of community, what role does community play in someone's ability to age well?
Oh, it's huge, because not only do you see people that's like you in certain ways, doing things, it's the accountability, it's being able to bounce ideas off, right? When you're in the right community, you're able to talk about things that people from other communities may not be able to understand. And it helps you to feel that you're not alone.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of the older generation, they suffer from loneliness because maybe their kids are off doing other things, and they're probably feeling depressed about their lack of abilities, and it's easy to go down that dark hole. But if you have a community, you have people that are going to check up on you. Hey, where's such and such? It's 10 o'clock. They're usually here. Where they at?
That's good.
I think that's important.
It is important. So we've made it to our rapid fire round. Now, what that means is you have 5 seconds to answer every question I ask you. You cannot think about it. You must just answer. Okay, well, are you ready?
All right, let's go.
Morning person or night owl?
Definitely morning.
Favorite guilty pleasure snack? Come on.
I would say like a veggie burger.
Get out of here. One word. Okay, so what? Which one? Like Impossible?
No, we're not going there. But,
I'm trying to figure out
it'll probably be like a greasy, salty burger at like a restaurant or something.
Okay, all right. One workout move you secretly dread?
Oh, Turkish get-ups.
Wow,
if anybody doesn't know what that is,
we're gonna Google it. It. Right. We got to move on. A song that always gets you energized.
Oh wow. That's a good one. Oh, I'd say New York State of Mind, Nas.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, it makes sense. You're from New York. Smoothie or juices?
Smoothie, because I need that fiber.
A book that's not your own that changed your life.
Native Son, Richard Wright.
If you could live to be 110, but feel 35, what would you do?
Oh, I'd travel the world.
Again, huh?
Yeah.
3 words that describe you, the you that you're becoming.
Oh. Distinguished. Wealthy.
One more.
Appreciative.
Oh, I like that. Well, you have been amazing. Thank you so much for coming to Limitless Talk. You have poured into your community. I hope you know that we appreciate you. The good people listening appreciate you. Tell us, where can we find you?
Okay, so all things about me could be found at trueironwill.com.
Okay, one stop. I love it.
That's it.
Yeah, I love it. Okay. Well, thank you again for coming by, Will. Know that we appreciate you. Know that all the listeners, the good people of I Radio, appreciate you coming to pour into them today. Know that we wish you well. We thank you for coming in, and we will plug ourselves into trueironwill.com.
That's right.
All right. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Good listeners, stay tuned. We have Gangali Movements with more tunes here on I Radio.